Welcome back. Now, amid an economic and financial meltdown in the country, individuals and businesses are also burdened with increased taxes. As protests raged against the tax revision yesterday, preceded by many more in the recent past, Other Derana reached out to experts on the matter. Now, tax consultant Gajendran highlighted that while individuals of lower economic strata are hit hard, there is legitimate concern on whether corporates are taxed enough. Meanwhile, Professor Siri Hettige called on institutions and think tanks to study the impact of the tax revisions to understand the burden on individuals and make adjustments where possible.
The upward tax revision comes as the government awaits an International Monetary Fund extended fund facility of $2.9 billion, which officials claim is crucial for economic recovery. The president, in his capacity as finance minister, raised corporate taxes to 30% from 24% effective this year, after almost doubling the value-added tax from 8% to 15% last year. The higher taxes come as inflation and borrowing costs pose a serious threat to business activity across Sri Lanka. However, speaking to Other Derana, tax consultant Gajendran highlighted that corporates making large profits can carry a greater incidence of tax relative to the burden placed on individuals of lower economic strata.
Individuals at the higher strata of income, their taxes have gone up double from 18% to 36%. But people who are at the lower strata are paying taxes almost sometimes 10-11% more than what they paid before the increase. If a person had 300,000 rupees, he would have paid about 3,000 rupees before the increase, and now he will pay about 35,000. People have said, even in government institutions who are earning a relatively high income, their take-home pay is negative when this new tax comes in. So the individuals have a challenge to balance between three important requirements. They need money for their basic prerequisites. Also, they need monies to make good for the financial commitments. And now you have the taxes. I believe there can be evasion in this case. The corporates are not grumbling on taxes because the corporate rates have gone from 24 to 30%. Huge profits that have been reported by the corporates, whether they have been taxed enough is one question. Everyone is saying they don't mind paying taxes, but they don't know what public good the taxes is doing. Individuals are asking, there is no focus on managing corruption vulnerabilities. They feel the people in high positions in public offices, taxes have not impacted them.
Meanwhile, acknowledging the disruption caused by the drastic increase of taxation, Professor in Sociology Siri Hettige called on academic institutions and think tanks to do more research on the impact of the tax hike.
Yeah, with this new tax regime, we have moved away from a low tax regime in the country. Normally, you have high tax regimes in welfare state where public investment in what people really need on a day-to-day basis is very much taken into consideration. For instance, in Nordic countries, they have a fairly high tax regime. They certainly provide all the public goods that people need, and therefore there is a lot of public support for high rates of taxation. But also they have other objectives, is a way of reducing income inequality. We introduced, when you introduce a taxation system, you have to figure out whether people could really manage with what they have, and if they cannot, how are they going to manage? And the other thing is, when we make drastic changes, we have to look at how these things impact on different segments of society, and of course disruption that is can cause can be quite significant, and that is really what we are observing today. And I do not know whether there had been any significant serious analysis of how this is going to really impact on the wider society, and if that has not been done, then it would be very, very important to really find out what is really happening now.